watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Teena Avery. I am super uber pumped. We're talking about something I absolutely love, and you're thinking, what is that? You're going to think back. We haven't talked about it for a while. We're talking about trending toys in 2024. I love toys, and if you didn't know that, you do know it now. Joining me today, we have Derek and David Noble from NobelToyz Jr., right? From here in Orangeville, yes?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
I know, I got so pumped. I'm like, I love toys. I really do. Like, it's, you know, we're not going to discuss my age. We're just going to talk about the toys. So thank you so much for coming on. I think this is always so interesting because trends do change, but then some stay the same, right?
True. A lot of trends, a lot of things that were popular at one time become popular again.
Right.
And we notice that all the time. So that's why when you're talking about a trending toy, it's a very difficult thing because a lot of things that were old are new again, and a lot of things that were trendy a couple years ago have come back.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about one thing I seen at a store, and it was a really decked out Care Bear, and I was like, Care Bears, like, and I every year I think you see Care Bears still, but I'm like, really, Care Bears? Like, are they still popular?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that came out in the 80s, and I think a lot of younger kids, as the generations go by, a lot of younger kids look up to their older brothers and sisters, and that's
parents or whatever.
Yeah, and this is what I did with my brother, how I got into a lot of items, and then so on and so forth. So, you know, a kid that's maybe 16 is looking at something like, say, Minecraft, going, oh, you know, that's so. But this kid is just discovering it. So that's the fun thing about toys and collectibles. They never seem to go out of style.
I know, absolutely. I mean, my boys are older. I still have a huge bin filled with toys, and they were all like, let's throw this out. I'm like, do you know what that is? I'm like,
you know what that's worth?
We can't, it's not even that. Like, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like these, there was Godzilla toy, like just all the things that they grew up with. And then,
absolutely.
You know, and then you clean out your house, and then you think, oh my gosh, like, did I really get rid of that? Like, I mean, I had all this WWE stuff, and I'm like, we should have kept where I was going to keep all of this stuff. I don't know, but I still have all of these different things.
Right.
You know, Godzilla and King Kong, and I'm like, we can't get rid of King Kong. And my boys are looking at me like, and I'm just like, you just wait. You're going to have kids one day, and one of them is having one very, very soon. And I'm like, you're going to appreciate the fact that I kept all of these things.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dave will say the exact same thing. It's we hear it all the time. Just hold on to it. Don't get rid of it, right? Because what's that old saying? Someone's leftovers is another person's treasure.
Yeah, something
whatever
like that.
The saying is. But
Yeah, a lot of the influence goes from the parents. Absolutely. If the parents are bringing those toys and introducing the kids to those toys at different ages, and obviously they're gonna, some of the ones they're gonna, hang on to, and then they're gonna grow up with that. They're gonna love that. That'll be their memories and stuff. So
yeah. I think when I was young, one of those toys that I actually loved was like Simon. Not Simon, but there was a...
The game?
The Simon game, but there was another one too. I can't remember the name of it now. But anyways, I loved playing this
with
thing.
the colors that repeat it?
No,
Yeah,
that
would be Simon.
Yeah.
But there was another one, I'm going to sit here and try to describe it, but it looked like a really old cell phone.
Yeah, that's...
I can't remember.
It was red.
It was red.
It was long.
Yes.
Now it's on the tip of it. It's gonna
at some point,
it'll
hopefully
come
you
to
remember.
me.
Anyways, I love this thing. And then my kids were like, they found this toy years ago, and I guess they gave it to me for Christmas one year. And it was like a foot, where it was kind of like the same sort of thing as Simon, and all the toes would light up in different patterns, and you had to repeat
cool,
after. I was like, it's cool, but it's not whatever that... Merlin.
Merlin.
Yeah.
Look at me go.
That's 5 points. You got it. Yeah.
I get some points for that one.
It was up there. It was trying to get out.
Absolutely. Well, let's stop talking about my favorite toys, and let's talk about some of the things that you've brought for us today. Are you okay? I'm just going to pick up a couple of them right off the bat, because I know these have been popular for a while now. Yes?
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about them.
I'd say going on a decade.
Okay.
The Funko Pop, it seems to have trends where it goes hot, goes cold, but it's never died. And you go through stages where, what we talked about earlier, a collector will start losing interest in certain ones and will start passing it on to someone else or moving on from a certain collection and going a different route, because these are very addictive, and we've had people buy one or two.
Right.
And next thing you know, they have 500. They have walls set up of these
Wow,
things.
that's insane. I'm seeing SpongeBob.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought the threesome from SpongeBob. Squidward.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're so cool. I love Squidward.
Yeah, Squidward. I love Squidward. And then, of course, you got SpongeBob. And
I can't imagine having, like, what would one do with, like, 500 of these? Like, it's just I guess anybody who collects anything.
Well, I just look at them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
Do people
so many.
take them out of the boxes?
Well, that's what I was going to say. You have different collectors. So you have collectors that will buy them, and as soon as they get them home, some of them even throw the box away, which we hear that. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it shocks us, for sure.
But they love the sculpts. They love displaying them, and they love how they look. You have other collectors that will sit there, and they don't want to find one little crease or full, because they're thinking either that's the way they collect them, they want them mint, or they're thinking from a reseller, because you can buy a Funko today for $15, and then 6 months down the road it could be worth a couple hundred if it's a rare one, if it's a
Apparently I need to
limited
start
run.
collecting, yeah.
Yeah. It could go the other way. You could buy
lose
a
a lot
rare
too,
Funko
yeah.
and spend $75-$80, and the thing dries up and it's worth 20. So
Right.
it's like a stock market.
So when you were talking about the creases and everything, all I could think of was, like, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Like, I just
Absolutely.
remember he'd be like, don't open it, don't touch it. Like, just, yeah.
We have a
I'm
lot of
just going to
people
put it down gently here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of people who come in who are very much like that, like Sheldon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When it comes to Hot Wheels, Funkos, even action figures on card, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Speak of the.
Yeah, so let's talk about Hot Wheels. Like, I mean, these have been around forever.
Yep.
Right? So
Absolutely. They've
still
been
really popular.
Still popular. It's a lot more with the older generation, obviously, have gotten into them. What else can I say? I mean, I've witnessed them at different stores and locations just fighting over them. So
Really?
Oh, absolutely. We've got people who come in religiously, and they're just looking for certain ones. They want, I have a guy come in over the week, and he just went crazy. Just, oh my God, I love them all. And he just kept buying them and wanting them. So it's, from little kids right up to adults, it's still one of those things that never goes away.
Yeah, I mean, they are incredibly cool. And I remember when my boys were growing up, I was like, oh, like every Christmas there has to be like Hot Wheels under the tree, or,
In the stocking,
like in the stock. Yeah, like just, Santa was always great to put these in the stockings too. So, but yeah, they don't go away. And there's some really, really cool ones.
Very cool ones.
Yeah.
And what they do a lot of times now is they have the same car, but just different colors now. So the colors just keep on, you could have one car, but 25 different colors. So it obviously just, people want to have all the colors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going for another one now. So let's talk about this particular toy.
Yes, we play with dolls.
Well, as do many.
Yeah. We don't necessarily play with them, but Barbies have gone back. I think it was the 50s, maybe. The
Yeah.
Barbies have gone back. I mean, the original Barbies were back in the 50s. And it's another trend that never seems to go away. I think the launch of the Barbie movie, I believe that was last year.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Really, we noticed, really brought Barbies to the forefront again.
Yeah.
And we noticed that people were going heavy on them again, and it's never really gone away.
No.
So similar to how Funko's only had maybe a decade, Barbies have had what, 6 decades, seven decades. Wow. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
And the
so-
rarity too is crazy. I mean, that doll, for instance, is actually a quite rare one. So
Yeah.
you got some entry-level ones right up to high-level ones again. So I mean, it's for the collector as well.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was a bit of a pack rat. So when we were growing up, he would keep certain toys and whatever. And I think one of the first Barbies that had come out, I can't even remember which one it was. And he had kept all these toys, like I had Jaws, like the game with the elastic
Oh,
where
I
you
love
pull
that.
all the
Yeah,
stuff out of
that
the
was
mouth
fun.
and all of these things, and he had kept them for so long.
Wow.
And then when he passed, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure that all of these toys are up in this loft or whatever. And I guess he had gotten rid of them over the years. Just because as they, like when they moved from, they moved up from Brampton to Orangeville when I moved up here, and I was devastated because I
We're
thought for
devastating.
sure.
Whenever we hear that, we hear these stories, and we hear, but I don't have any. It's almost like our hearts just sing.
Yeah.
I had like the original Barbie camper, the pool. I had this
yeah.
crazy house that had an escalator in
Yeah.
it. And I was like in heaven, and I had so many. Oh my goodness! Yeah. I think about it now, and like even my Jaws game, like all those really fun games, like he kept them all. I think it was my mom. I love her to pieces, but I think she was the one who was like, "We don't need to keep this anymore." But yeah.
Yeah, if we knew what we knew back then. Like for
Absolutely.
example, now the collecting game is different. So as Dave mentioned, like this one goes for about 150, 160.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have to find the right collector for it.
Yes, of
But
course.
it is a super rare one.
It's a replica of something that was around from the day, the very early on stages of Barbie. So I don't remember the exact date when
I
that
had one very similar to this.
that right?
And it was like an original, and she had her ears pierced. I was like, this is the best Barbie ever. Because Barbie at the time had the stereotypical Barbie, right?
Yeah.
Hence the movie. But, and she was just so very unique. And yeah, I thought for sure I still had her, and I was like, sad face.
Yeah.
Sad face. We have a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to just randomly choose something to talk about for a couple minutes, and let me know, what am I looking at and
That's Pokemon cards. That's
Okay.
That's actually a collector box of Pokemon cards. Still highly collectible, very sought after. We
floors
can't keep
me.
them in the store fast enough or long enough, or whatever you want to call it. But I brought a couple of different boxes.
Okay.
But that one is more of a rare kind of, what would you call it, Derek? Like a limited edition
Okay.
version of it.
Yeah,
So-
there's different names. Like a booster box would be more just cards, like the packs that you will see retail selling. Then you have trainer boxes, and you have other ones similar to that where they have counters inside, they have dice, they have cards, energy cards, they have all sorts of things in it. And of course, everybody's trying to open the packs and pull those rare cards, right?
Yes,
So-
yeah. We had a Pokemon board game, which I still do own, which was, my kids loved them. And my boys had a great collection. Not even going to tell you. I was like, oh my gosh! And my nephew was like, he had posted something about Mew and Mewtwo
Okay.
the other day, and I'm just like, we had it all. And then we had, I guess, some of them got taken from school, and things happen, and they trade them. And I'm like, why would you trade those ones?
We hear the horror stories about kids trading very rare cards. And other kids like, oh, here's 50 for your one card, and they're like, oh my God, you gave me a stack.
Yeah.
Those cards are worth 10 cents. His card was worth a couple $100.
Yeah,
So
I
I feel
mean,
bad for those kids that.
But I mean, it's part of the fun when you look at it, because we almost sound like we're taking the fun out of it. Like it's all about getting the cards and trading them. And
Absolutely.
when we look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even look at it worth-wise. I'm just like, that one's so cool. I remember that one,
Yeah, the
that sort of
colors.
thing. But I mean, for the kids, it's about the fun. Like I got 50 cards for one. Like
Yeah.
look at all of what I have.
Yeah.
Which I think is absolutely amazing.
It's true. Some people turn it into a business, and that's all it is.
Yes.
Is to them, they just see dollar signs, and they look to flip things and make money that way.
And I'm all about the toys. I'm all about the toys. We're going to keep talking toys, so don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, that's.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
All crew. This is my favorite part. You see that jagged rock? They say it's haunted by mermaids.
To be a yachty, you need to have thick skin. I thought I was doing the right thing.
It's a bit harsh.
You need to stop.
Does anyone know where Steph is? Get him back here, now!
Gary seems to be giving me the attention that I need.
Oh, here we go. The only person who should be crying on this boat is me.
Below Deck Sailing Yacht. All new Mondays at 9 on Bravo or stream it on City TV Plus.
Public transit.
garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. Thanks for sticking with us. And if you're just joining us, as always, you're joining at a great time. We're talking about toys. I love to talk about toys. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of Lego now. So let's talk about, because I mean, that's been around a really, really long time as well. And they come up with some really incredible things in Lego these days.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, Technique, that's actually one of my favorite because it's always got the cool stuff. It's got the cars and some of the bigger models for adults and stuff. But yeah, Lego starts from the smallest little thing. You can build anything you want. It's like kids can dream, I guess, if you will, right? It's
absolutely. And the Lego, even the Lego commercials now that they're doing are just really, I guess, not just encouraging the young people, but you know, the older, whether they're tweens or whatever I don't know what they call them anymore. I'm so out of tune with it. But my kids are older, so. But I mean, Lego is a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. I love building stuff with Lego.
Yeah. And I've seen everything from huge Star Wars Lego. Like I know my nephew. Hi, Tyler. I know my nephew. He has built some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
With Lego. So it's good to see that it's still around and it's still popular.
Yeah, they've come up with the Death Star, and they've come up and just recently we had our hands on the big Lord of the Rings tower and these big, humongous sets that the avid builder, like something what you have that might be aimed more at an elder age, like not really
like
for a young.
It's a dried flower centerpiece. So I know it's very unique, and it's not something I would think would come from Lego, but you can do so much with it, and it looks really cool.
It does, yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
Awesome. So we're gonna go. I'm hopping over here because I see something that, oh gosh, my mother used to love to do, and I think some of my family still does. Puzzles. Puzzles are still popular.
Big time. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. We've got our hands on hundreds of these things, and I mean, I love doing them personally, right?
Okay.
Well, that's one of your favorites right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan.
You know what? I'm like holding it from the back and not, it's like puzzle, and I'm just realizing I love Star Wars.
Yeah, I think everybody deep down loves Star Wars. But.
So I'm going to ask you, and we're going to talk about it quickly because we want to make sure we talk about everything. So Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Star Wars.
I'm in the middle. I love them both.
I mean, I love them both too.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, from a movie perspective, I'm definitely, like, I don't know, I think I'm lean more towards Star Wars, but I mean, it is a true battle with people between Star Wars and Star Trek, is it not?
Yeah, I think if you're an avid lover of Star Wars, you're not a fan of Star Trek, but you do have people that like
cross
both
over.
genres.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, we watched a lot of Star Wars growing up with the kids, and we watched through it, and they had their toys, but I mean, puzzles, it does floor me. I'm not a puzzle person. Maybe I just don't have the attention span. I don't know what it is. I'm always all over the place. But I mean, over the years, my mom was a big puzzle person. My sister likes to do them, and you know, there used to be the 3D puzzles, and my dad even got into doing that. So we would sit there and do those types of things with the family. But
yeah, definitely.
I have my 4-year-old granddaughter who just loves puzzles. So we do them all the time, right? Big pieces, of course, but it's still she has a blast.
Yeah, that's how you get. I mean, I used to do them. I just. You know what, I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy doing them. I'm just saying that maybe it's not the first thing I would choose, but games. I love games. I love to play games. So let's talk about this particular one.
Same thing. The reason I think we brought this more than anything is because the anime is very, very popular.
Very popular.
You have One Piece. You have My Hero Academia. I hope I'm saying that right, because the anime fans will be like, Naruto is probably one of the most, next to One Piece, is probably one of the most popular animes there are right now.
Okay.
So we thought we'd kill two birds with one stone, because anything anime is always hot. You have mangas, you have figures, action figures, Funkos, but you also, games never seem to go out of style, and we could have brought a truckload of them. We could have brought games that were our generation, like Trouble and Payday and all that type of stuff. we love those types of games, and they don't go away. They are still popular to this day.
Yeah, no, I am. I do love to play games. I'm a really competitive guy. Like I'm so competitive, and everyone's just like, my kids are like, Mom, and I'm like, I don't like to lose.
What's your game?
Well, I like everything. But I mean, actually, I'm a card game player but I love board games. And I was just introduced to some crazy game at Thanksgiving, and I'm going to get this wrong. I know it. It's like Taco Pizza Cat.
Yeah.
Taco Pizza.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Taco Pizza Cat. I don't know.
Pizza Taco Cat, or there's so many of these that come out,
and they're fun.
And we've had multiple games like that, and like we talked about before, they come in trends. They get really hot, really popular. Everybody wants to have it, and then you can't find it.
I know. Like I went out and bought this game just the other day because we had it for Thanksgiving. We played it with the family. I got some girls coming over, and some of them are not card players, and then I have a couple games that we play, and I'm just like, this one will be fun. It takes no skill. It really doesn't. And there's so much fun though, right? I don't know. You get a narwhal, you do something. You get a groundhog, you do something. I don't even know. But it was so much fun. We laughed for hours.
Games are awesome. It'll keep people, and it gets us away from watching movies and TV and everything.
Yeah.
We get to socialize with each other, which is something that I think humanity has really lost over the years. So.
Absolutely. And I will say I do love Monopoly. Like, I mean, it's a classic,
favorite,
but yeah. And I mean, Trouble, I'm like, honestly, I could go on for hours. We're going to stop talking about me because I'm literally going down memory lane of all the games that I used to love.
Well, that's what we try to do, right?
Yeah.
And retro and bring things back, right? And talk about them.
Well, let's talk retro.
Okay.
Because I know you brought a few things that I'm going to let you show. Yeah, that's your favorite. So why don't you start with your most favorite one that you've brought in tonight?
That's impossible because I love them all. But I didn't bring an actual NES or an actual Super Nintendo. But these are the classics that came out a couple of years ago. And they're just made to look like the
Original.
Yeah, the original systems from back then. They're preloaded with 30 games. I think this one has maybe a bit less. But these systems here, the original, we find that young kids of today are getting into them. And they want, so I brought some cartridges too.
Okay.
You got the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you got Tetris, you got Mario Brothers with the Duck Hunt. Kids want to get into original vintage NESs.
Right.
So we try to get them an NES, and they got their original game to plug in and play, and that takes a lot of people from our generation back, right?
Yeah, I'm going to talk ColecoVision now. So I can't even stop talking about myself, but we had ColecoVision. And for me, it was Donkey Kong Jr. Those were Donkey Kong was my ultimate favorite. And then we had this one called, oh my gosh, I don't know, it was like Cat and Mouse. I don't remember what it was. Mousetrap, maybe. Well, no.
No, it wasn't Mousetrap.
It was almost like a Pac-Man with a cat and a mouse and a dog, and you would push the middle button.
Was it Mappy?
I don't know. You'd push the button in the middle, and so you would be you're the mouse. The cat would be chasing you, and then when you would eat the bone, you would press the dog, and then it would turn into the dog. And then my father used to yell, "Dog, dog!" Like, Dad, I don't have a bone. I can't turn into a dog. But
Great memories, right? And that's vintage for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to stop talking about me. Let's talk a little bit about.
Brought a couple Game Boys too. Kids are always looking for these. If we ever have these in, they're in and they're out because they play the smaller Game Boy games, and very, very popular.
Yes.
Also thought I something that took me back to my childhood, and this is a reproduction, so it's not the original.
Right.
So I'm just going to throw the box up there.
Yep, absolutely.
But we have Evel Knievel.
Oh my gosh, Evel Knievel.
So what you do is you slide this guy right up here, and you're going to spin it, and he's going to go, and you can build ramps and let him fly through the air. But on the theme of retro, it kind of takes you back to the 70s and 80s, right?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
When we first got that box, we actually, Derek and I played for a good half an hour, 45 minutes. We were just on the store floor, just to see how much stuff we could jump.
We're not embarrassed to admit.
Not at all.
I would honestly.
Yeah.
It is what it is for sure, and I mean I love it all. I'm surrounded by toys, and I'm absolutely loving it. Yes.
It's like paradise.
I need to go hang out in the store, like just and play. Yeah, I'm such a big kid. Like I really am. Like even
so are we.
Even well, I mean, you would have to be, right?
Yeah.
You really have to enjoy toys.
Exactly.
But I see some figures that are there,
Yeah,
and
I just grabbed a couple random, and this will be flashbacks for some people that aren't really collectors. And these are, in fact, all these characters are from 1977. So he does have a saber. There's Leia. That's Luke.
Oh my goodness.
Here you got Chewbacca here. I didn't bring their weapons. We didn't want them to get lost.
No, of course,
because they're worth quite a bit of money. There's a Vader, and there's your friend Mr. Stormtrooper there.
Oh my gosh.
The whole kit caboodle though.
Well, yeah. There's some of the original ones that came out in 1977. There's more than that, but we just wanted a couple samples.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought them is because, just like I said before, you got these young kids coming in. Hey, do you have vintage He-Man? Do you have vintage G.I. Joe? Do you have vintage Star Wars? Do you have... And I love the fact that these younger generations are getting into collecting vintage stuff, and it keeps it alive. It keeps the market hot for the old guys like us, right? So it's something something we really love.
Okay, so we've got a couple minutes left. So I want to talk about your favorite toys. We talked a little bit about some of my favorites. I can't believe I remembered Merlin, but oh my gosh, I so want a Merlin. Anyways, let's talk about your favorite.
You want to do
toys.
me, or you want to go first?
I'll go first. I mean, I love Meccano.
Okay.
Meccano is something I grew up with. I'm kind of like an engineer at heart.
Okay.
I'm always thinking computers and engineering and building, and I just love to build things. So Meccano for me was my favorite.
Okay.
I still have Meccano at home. So it's just something that if I see some sitting there, I'll spend hours just playing. I actually built something the other day, and I filmed it how I built it so that I could speed it up and put it online. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
I
so
never
that's
thought
me.
about something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just had probably one of my favorite things. I do have a complete run of original Star Wars from 77 to 85.
Wow.
So it takes me back when I had these as a kid, and that's how I got back into them. Like, oh, I remember this, this, and this. Next thing you know, I have to upgrade. I have to get better condition ones. I got to make sure the weapon's perfect. It's original, and you go start going, and then you realize it's not a cheap thing to do, but it makes you happy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I could go on for hours about what I original video games, records, you name it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Derek doesn't want to be my friend anymore because I still kind of like Star Trek a little bit, but I do like Star Wars more. We've determined that through this show.
No,
but,
we're friends. We're friends. Don't worry.
So that's perfect. I mean, there are so many things for people to look at and to look at. And I love the fact, like you said, that people are starting to look for things that are retro and bring them back. Maybe we'll see the lemon twists. Haha, do you know what that is? Back in the day. Maybe that'll come back one day. But I mean, there's just so much to think about and to consider, and and I'm all for the kids opening stuff up and playing with it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Toys are meant to be. If you're in it just to collect, that's fine. But I do the same thing. If there's something I really like, I want to display it. We open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Absolutely. I just asked my Hot Wheel collection at home. It's huge, so got a ton of them.
That is amazing. I want to thank you both for bringing all the toys and coming here and sharing your knowledge about them, because I may love to play with them. I don't know a lot about all of them. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's always fun to hang out with you.
And we can play for a few minutes after.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I'm in. And thank you for joining us. The shopping season's here. Make sure, you need more information. You know who to go see. But shop local. We promote that really a lot. Well, we promote that a lot, and I'm a supporter of local businesses for sure. But enjoy your shopping. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home